Hi, I'm Matthew Moscoviak, Senior Associate Editor at CNET.com, and this is the Samsung BD P3600. And as you can see, the design is actually pretty unique. It has a lot of rounded corners, bathed in a glossy black finish, and it doesn't look like your standard boxy type Blu-ray player. The controls are on the top and they're touch sensitive, which means you're not going to be able to stack anything on top of it, and when you keep pressing those controls, you're definitely going to have some fingerprints. The only other thing on the design is that right on the front panel there's just a little flip down panel for a front panel USB drive. Luckily there's another USB port on the back, so if you want to plug in a memory stick full of photos or music, you won't have to have it hanging out the front. The included remote is a little bit of a different design from previous Samsung players, but in some ways it's a step back. The one thing we didn't like is that the title menu and disc menu buttons were buried all the way at the bottom instead of being around the directional pad. Now this player comes with all of the features that are now standard on Blu-ray pretty much, including Profile 2.0 so you can access BD Live features, and it also has onboard decoding for Dolby True HD and DTS HD Master Audio, which are the two new high-resolution audio soundtracks. The BD P3600 is loaded with bonus features. There are Netflix and Pandora access, so you can stream Netflix movies right to the unit. Now normally you need to connect an Ethernet connection to use internet connectivity, but the BD P3600 comes with a USB Wi-Fi dongle, so you just plug this in the back and you can get Wi-Fi connectivity on this player. Another benefit is that it has 1 GB of onboard memory. That means you don't need to stick in a USB memory stick to download your BD Live content to it. It'll download right to the memory on the player. If you flip it around back, you'll see there's more connectivity. There is an additional USB port, as I mentioned before. There's also an Ethernet jack. Of course, there's an HDMI output, which can output Blu-ray movies at 1080p, and DVDs can be upscaled to 1080p as well. And for older HD TVs, there's also a component video output, which will output Blu-ray at 1080i and DVDs at 480p. Now, if you have an older non-HDMI receiver with 7.1 analog inputs, this player also has 7.1 analog audio output, so you'll be able to take advantage of the new high-resolution audio soundtracks with your older non-HDMI receiver. And the BD P3600 performs really well on both Blu-ray discs and DVDs. There was none of the jaggies or moire that sometimes we see with entry-level players. The biggest drawback for the BD P3600 is price, as its list price is still as high as the entry-level PlayStation 3. However, if you don't care about gaming, this player is loaded with features and it has excellent performance, both image quality and disc loading, and it's one of our top choices for a Blu-ray standalone player. I'm Matthew Moscoviak from CNET.com, and this is the Samsung BD P3600.